These men truly love our city and have spread kindness in many ways throughout the community in different programs. So I want to introduce Phil Urbina and Jim Brubaker, who are going to come up and talk to you about the programs that they've implemented within the community. Phil?
Good morning. I'm going to share a quote with you, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to get it wrong. Imagine a world where people give of themselves simply because they want to, not out of a sense of debt, or because they want something in return. No ulterior motives, no guilt feelings, just the desire to give for the sake of giving. Now, instead of imagining this kind of world, do your part to make it happen. Make a charitable donation. Volunteer your time to improve your community. Give back to the world that gives back so much to you. And if it happens to make you feel good to give, that's all right. Feeling good is the one ulterior motive that's acceptable. That's a quote from Bill Daniels, who was the father of cable TV. He was the owner of Daniels Cablevision, and I had the honor of working for him for about 15 years before he passed away in 2003, along with Val Brown. And if you get an email from me, you'll see that at the bottom of my signature. Because I truly believe in community service, and it's been an honor to live in Carlsbad for almost 35 years now, and do my part, along with thousands of others, to try to make it just a little bit better of a place. In the late 80s, I got involved with the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau, and they asked me to help out because I was working for Daniels Cablevision, and I had access to a fleet of trucks. And so on one Friday in December, we'd show up with our trucks and we would deliver all these great packages to people who were less fortunate than ourselves. And I didn't really understand the whole process. That's the one thing I did for them. And a few years later, they asked me for some help. They asked me to join the board. And when I finally got the big picture, what I realized was that organization consisted of basically a food drive and Toys for Tots. And they would help out about 500 families every year. And these people would sign up to receive assistance, and then they'd put together a couple of toys and some food for them. But a couple of people would say, you know what, just let me have the whole family. And they would say, and go and adopt a whole family. And those people who got adopted would get a lot of stuff. So the reason they asked us to deliver it is because they didn't want those people lined up and getting a ton of stuff when the next person in line was going to get 2 boxes. So when I joined the board along with some other people, there were 2 couples that were running the organization about that time. And I said, well, these people over here are more work, and they get less. And these people over here who get adopted by somebody else are less work, and they get more. So let's turn that around. So we changed the name from the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau to the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau Adopt-A-Family Project. Good action-oriented name. And now we work as a facilitator. We try to get people and organizations, many of the city departments, many businesses, the schools will adopt, and then they go out and basically shop for that. The Boys and Girls Club donates its gymnasium to us for a week. And they bring everything to us, and we audit it to make sure that there's a certain amount of food, and a minimum amount of food, a minimum amount of gifts, and then people donate what we call generic items to us, and we have a wall full of stuff, so when people don't show, that aren't adopted, we have people who are shoppers who go and shop for those people, and put boxes together. And on the second Saturday in December, we have about 450 cars lining up, very briefly, behind the Boys and Girls Club gym. And in 3 hours, we have a whole distribution system where those people drive up. Somebody tells us, their family 212 is here. They call it into the warehouse, the gym. And we have volunteers go out and put it in their back seat, and they drive away. And usually it's not in the back seat, but it takes a lot of stuff oftentimes. We'll do 3 cars per minute through that line. It's pretty incredible. I always call it organized chaos, and people say it is not chaotic, but it is amazing. And during that week, we'll use 200 volunteers. Many of them are from our Rotary Club, the Carlsbad High Noon Rotary Club. But many of them are just friends and people that we know, some board members. We've got a very small board of 8 people. And we do some amazing work because people in Carlsbad are donating their time and their money to help the less fortunate people in Carlsbad. It's a pretty amazing thing, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I've been the president of the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau for 20 years, and it's kind of been a passion for me. And fortunately, we've gotten some great board members, and in January, we elected somebody else to be the president. I'm stepping down, I'm staying with the board and helping out a little bit, but I thought after 20 years we needed some new blood. And it's been a great experience for me, and as I look around the room, I'm pretty sure, I know I can see some people here who have donated to the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau, who have volunteered for the Carlsbad Christmas Bureau, who have done many, many different things, and I thank you very much. You probably haven't read about it because we don't have much of a lot of publicity these days. Nobody comes out to us. None of the TV stations come out or anything like that. But if you came by and you looked at the Boys and Girls Club during that week, you would see 100 tables full of gifts and full of love from Carlsbad residents. It's pretty amazing. So as you consider the areas that you might want to make a difference, I encourage you, just find that passion of yours and make it happen. Find some volunteers. There are so many people here who are willing to volunteer some time and help you out. So thank you very much.
My name is Jim Brubaker, and I'm here to represent the common man in Carlsbad. I don't have a specific organization to represent. I am involved in several charitable organizations and serve on the board of some foundations, also in our Rotary Club. I obviously can't say no, so I am just spread across the board. But I'm here to tell you that it is all worthwhile. I don't have a great quote from a great man to say, but my own personal quote is, and you can quote me on this, change isn't good, only good change is good. Oh, thank you. That being the case, how do we affect good change? It's by good people like yourselves getting involved and making things happen. And the more good people involved, the better the change. Too often it's just the same few people getting involved and making things happen, and the same thing goes on. So the more people, the more perspectives, the more opinions involved, the better. When my beautiful wife Leslie and I moved here to Carlsbad almost 30 years ago, we immediately fell in love with it and knew we were never going to live anywhere else in the world. And we both, of course, we live, work, play, and love in Carlsbad for almost 30 years, and just realized we wanted to give back and get involved. So back when the city first came out with the academy, the Citizens Academy, I immediately signed up. If you have not attended the Carlsbad Citizens Academy, I highly recommend that. It's a great way to learn about the city and ways to get involved. One of the things they recommended when I attended was to make an appointment and talk to each council member, which I did. That was a great experience. One in particular, our former councilwoman, Ann Colchin, said, "You want to get involved? I have someone you need to talk to." Next thing I know, her husband Dave was calling me to sign me up or get me to come to his Rotary Club. So it's amazing how when you just start getting involved and asking and talking to people, the directions it can take. And there are so many great organizations, city programs that you can get involved in. The opportunity is just tremendous. So again, I highly recommend you get involved, get plugged in, and find a way that you can give. Because as Phil was saying, as everyone's been saying, you go into it thinking, I just want to give back and make good things happen for everybody. Next thing you know, you are just getting this great, warm, wonderful feeling inside that is a return to you, and suddenly you're just saying, I want more of this. And you do more and give more and just get more of that great, wonderful feeling. So please, get involved, get active, get that warm, fuzzy feeling. It is great. Thank you.